This is the second part of my three-part series on Julius Caesar's invasion of Britain. In the first episode we looked at the political chaos in Rome and the chain of wars in Gaul that led Caesar to cast his eye across the channel. Now we turn to the summer of 55 BC, when for the first time in history a Roman army set sail for Britain. Caesar presented the expedition as punishment for the Britons who had sent support to his Gallic enemy. The truth here is actually simpler. The campaigning season was nearly over, his enemies in Rome never stopped circling, and the chance to be the first Roman to bring an army across to Britain was too tempting to resist. It was less an invasion than a gamble for prestige, and a bold demonstration that Roman power had no horizon. During his preparations, Gaius Volusinus was sent to scout the coast, and although he didn't land, he was able to send Caesar back some important intelligence. This intelligence was gathered from merchants who traded frequently with Gaul from Britain. Then, with around 10,000 men, just 2 legions, he set out from the Gallic port of Boulogne in late August. What greeted him was not the easy landing he had hoped for. As his ships neared the coast of Kent, the cliffs were already lined with British warriors, their chariots racing back and forth along the ridge above. Caesar had to move further down to the shoreline in search of a beach, but the Britons shadowed him, keeping pace on their horses and chariots. The landing was chaotic. The Roman soldiers had to leap into the sea, weighed down with their armour, while missiles poured down from the shore. They could not form their tight line, and hesitation spread through the army until the eagle-bearer, who unfortunately remains nameless, of the 10th Legion, Caesar's most prided legion, leapt forward, urging his comrades to follow him. That moment of bravery gave the rest the courage to push through, and slowly the legionaries fought their way up the beach. The fighting was fierce. The Britons' use of chariot was unusual for the Romans. Not unknown, but something rarely seen on the continent at this time. The way they used them, the charging in, dismounting to fight, and then withdrawing quickly, was disorientating to men who were trained to hold a line in quite a close formation. Like the Gauls, the Britons relied on individual courage and dramatic displays of skill. By contrast, the Romans relied on the discipline of the collective, and in the end it was that discipline that allowed them to grind forward and establish a camp on the shore. But at this point Caesar knew he couldn't push much further. His cavalry transports had been scattered, storms were threatening the coast, and his army was too small for a lasting conquest. So instead he used politics. Local tribes offered hostages and peace terms, impressed by Roman persistence and engineering, and after 2 weeks Caesar withdrew with his legions intact. In Rome though, the reception was extraordinary. The Senate voted for 20 days of thanksgiving. This was an honour that was usually reserved for world-changing victories. For Caesar, the prestige is what mattered. He had crossed the ocean, landed on a mysterious island spoken of largely with rumour, and returned with hostages. For the Britons, it was clear that this was only the beginning. Caesar had tested their defences and had learned some of their ways of war, and the next year he would return with a larger force. Check out part 3 to see what happened.